Welcome to Talk Birdie to Me with former world number 16 Nick O'Hearn and Tour Pro Mark Allen. Live from Titleist and FootJoy headquarters. Titleist, they're the clear number one ball in golf. FootJoy are the number one shoe and glove in golf. Ping, they'll help you play your best. The golf clearance outlet beat everyone's prices. And Better, the fastest and easiest betting app in Australia. Now, from Titleist and FootJoy headquarters, it's time for Talk Birdie to Me.
G'day everybody, nice to see you. Today we're talking about the new Titleist T-Series irons. I've got a set and they are a dream come true. I just cannot get over, Nick, how much better they were than the last set of the T-Series.
I've got to get this right. The first time out, did you make 10 birdies with them?
The first time I used them, I made 10 birdies in one round. Can you believe it? There was a little bit to do with putting, but my God, they were just feeling so brilliant. I couldn't get over it.
That's impressive.
I also choked 3 times in that one round. I only shot 4 under.
Well, that wasn't the iron's fault though, so don't worry.
That was not the iron's fault. I just hadn't been playing that well for a long time. So let's get to it because we've got 2 American guests or 2 people in America at the moment, in Titleist head office. First, we've got Tom Fisher, the Global Product Line Director of Metalwoods and Irons. Nice to get Tom. He's on the right. And on the left, we've got Marni Ines, and he's the Director of Product Development Irons, and the T-Series irons are what we're here for today. Fellas, nice to see you both.
Thanks for having us.
So, Tom,
great to see you.
I can't get over how you've packed improvement into this T-Series from just 2 years ago with the last T-Series. How did you do it?
Well, a lot of hard work, but as you know, our product life cycles are every couple of years. So, Marni and the team have, time to, once a product is released, like our 3rd generation, we can get a lot of feedback from tours, from fitters, from golfers all around the world to understand, how they're performing, but then what do we need to do better? How can we continue to, improve the performance of these irons? So, we've obviously kind of refined a lot of legacy technology, but some new technology that we put in there to really help with iron performance. Marni and the team have just knocked it out of the park with these irons.
Is there one, specific part of the technology which is that much different to the previous edition?
I would probably say the biggest one, certainly on tour, Nick, and you'll be, thinking about this as well, is what Marni and the team did to the grooves, right? These new progressive grooves that they've got is really helping with that consistency from all parts of the golf course, right? So, not worry about those flyers anymore. I think that's why we saw on tour the adoption into certainly the T100s, which is what they predominantly play, and the T150s. The consistency they saw from out of the fairway, but even out the first cut of rough, where they could hit their windows, hit their shots, hit their distances, that's something that made them put these irons in the bag immediately.
So, Marni, you obviously get feedback from tour players, and what they've given you this feedback that perhaps they're not controlling the ball out of the rough as well as they would like to. What's the process? I mean, from that point, what's the first stop?
Yeah, so it actually starts with, it started in this case with some tour players in Europe, and we were working with some players through Liam to look at a short iron spin, right? And really we're trying to just come up with a new groove design to kind of help this specific player. But as we further studied it, obviously if one player's having an issue, said, well, how many other players have this issue as well? And it's not so much as everyone having the same issue, but there are players who desired that additional spin from that first cut versus others who were already used to playing, the ball to just go a little bit farther from that first cut, right? So when we get that feedback, we essentially take a hard look at our products, do some more testing, then start in on making new grooves, new prototypes, and then testing further with those same players.
Right. So we're obviously talking about micro millimeters because, there's not too much you can do with a groove. So what are we talking when you actually change the groove?
Yeah, so there's the main things that we did with these mid and short iron grooves in the new T-Series line is the draft angle, right? So we had what was more of a V groove in these heads, and we've kind of opened up the bottom a little bit and steepened the sidewalls of that groove. right? So that changes the edge condition as well, makes it a little bit more aggressive for grabbing that golf ball, and really also opens up the volume to allow more debris to go into the groove, right, and channel it away from those edges where you need contact for spin.
The more spin, the better for me. I know that. The other thing, I guess, what I've seen of Mark's irons is the head is just slightly a little longer. Is that correct? And
in the 150 and 250 case, yes. So in the case of T100, it's the same blade length as it was before.
Right.
But for the 150, it's 1 millimeter longer in blade length, roughly. And then for the 250, it's a millimeter and a half longer in that case.
And I assume you're just increasing the size of the sweet spot by doing that.
A little bit, yeah. It allows us to also, get a little bit more MOI, right? So it allows us to maintain those high levels of MOI with these products, especially since, when you have a face insert like in 250 or 350, having that head stability allows your face technology to work even better, right? So it works great in a T100 as well. It just keeps that club head stable and makes those off-center shots a little bit better through that resisting of the twisting. But in an iron like 250 or 350, because you have that compliant face, it allows more of that energy to get into that face and return it into the golf ball, right? Because the head's not twisting.
Okay. So Tom, have you noticed, so for instance, I'll just give you mine. I was a professional golfer once upon a time. These days I don't have the club head speed. The T150 just suits me beautifully, suits my eye. Everything. I absolutely love it. But I've got a very good friend, and people who listen to radio in this country, his name's David Schwartz. He used to play for the Melbourne Football Club. He was a great player. He's got a 2 handicap, and he was fitted into the T250s. So here you go. You got a 2 handicap into the T250s. Are you seeing more and more people taking advantage of the 250s and the T350s?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, well, obviously what Marni has done now with the construction, right? So it's a full metal body construction, and obviously lengthening that blade length in the 250s really helped it proportionally. And actually, when you put the 250 and the 150 down, it's kind of hard to make, see the difference.
Yeah,
so visually it's stunning, right? And very attractive to a player to want to play. But obviously what the gentleman would have found out in the fitting process is, what iron actually gives him the consistent distance, gives him the height, the ability to, come on down with the right descent angle. And that's our 3Ds, which is our fitting philosophy, distance, dispersion, descent. And really, it doesn't matter what handicap you are. There's an iron that we have for you, and some better players are using the T3 250 and 350 to, ultimately get the performance they're out of the iron. So not only with performance, but visually more appealing as well. So it's a great lineup, and 250 has been about 40% of our iron sales right now around the world has been in that 250 iron.
Impressive. Now, are you seeing any of the pros, for example, doing a bit of a hybrid set where they maybe take the 3, 4, 5 in, say, the 250 and then the shorter irons in the 150?
The numbers that we have are like around 80% are blended sets.
Wow.
Right. And that was certainly a big part of the design of this iron as well, in that, with the changes to the size of the irons, change to the look of the iron on the back, especially, like, these irons were designed to be blended with one another, more so than even in the past, right? With the way they look in the bag, especially.
Okay, so look, I want to know whether this covers your brief, because I want to talk about hybrids, because Tom, you're Metalwoods and Irons. Marni, you're the Director of Product Development in irons alone. But when I hit that the 250, T250 with a beautiful graphite shaft in it, the orange one. You guys would know exactly which one I'm talking about. I don't know what the name is. But there's also the other one, that 350. I mean, are they replacing hybrids now all over the world because they're just so forgiven, the forgiveness of hitting these things and the height you can generate, all that sort of stuff?
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say it. I mean, of course, it can replace. I just think it gives golfers and fitters out there just different options, right? And it does go back again to that 3Ds where we believe in blended sets. So, what we'll look at is we want to make sure, just real quick, we want to make sure that your ball flight, believe it or not, your 3-iron should go the same height. If you play a 3-iron, should go the same height as your pitching wedge. Should also go the same height as your driver. We're also looking for an angle descent as well to be about the same. So as we work through a golfer's bag, we'll actually start looking at, okay, when do you stop losing this performance in your iron? And we'll transition you into a utility like you're using. Yep. We have a T250U or a U505. Or, of course, we have hybrids and high lofted fairway woods. And just based on golfers' preferences and also, what the launch monitors are telling us from your distance gapping, the height you're getting, the fitter can really recommend what model or what product design you need. And that's just great that we have that. Marni develops all of these great long irons and utilities, and Steph on the metalwood sides gives us these hybrids and high lofted fairway woods. So it's just options for fitters, what they prefer, and ultimately what gives us the performance that's allowing them to hit the shots they want to hit.
Impressive.
Right. And Marni, I've got to ask you this. I mean, I imagine they're pretty ruthless there at Titleist. I imagine you're already working on the next slot of the T-Series edition, if that's what they're going to be called.
No pressure.
So I know you can't give those tricks away, but I mean, how far into it are you?
We have already launched prototypes for the next line. So we should be seeing parts for those prototypes coming back in roughly 12 weeks. So
wow, isn't that impressive?
We're that far along.
All right, and who tests those? Who's the lucky person who gets
you,
to?
Mark.
Yeah, not me.
You.
It's not me. Who's the lucky guy who gets to test those things?
It's going to be quite a few people. We have our testers at TPI, of course, but we also have select tour pros who will come through TPI that we'll test with, and we might even send a couple out on tour, either through Liam and or JJ, to test with some players as well.
Incredible. Well, Tom, Marni, thank you so much for joining us on Talk Birdie to me. We appreciate it. Look, our major sponsor is Titleist FootJoy. We're a big believer in everything that you guys are sending down here to Australia. Thank you so much. We appreciate your time.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye. Take care.
And by the way, I haven't made a birdie since that first round, so I need the new ones quick, if you wouldn't mind.
No problem.
I'll talk to you guys next time.
Cheers.
Good on you. How about those two? Hey, what a job they've got over there in the States just to get the clubs on. I know, obviously, all the companies do it, but, Titleist's such a big name in the world of golf. Yeah. It's just remarkable.
I'd love to be one of those testers.
It would be amazing, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it would be just to get something that no one else has seen before. Yeah. It's 2 years away from being developed.
Well, it's funny, when out on tour, whenever Titleist brought out a new ball, they'd just be blank. Yeah, they'd have nothing on them, and they'd go, here's a sleeve, try this one, here's a sleeve, try that one, and you didn't know the difference. Yep. It's like a blind tasting with wine. It's fabulous. Yeah. You're just going, oh, this one does this and this one does that, and they basically build a ball to fit you. Great.
Oh, well. I thought for a second, Mark, you were about to say, I want to be one of those testers. Get one of those out to you. Well,
if they're looking for somebody, if they're over super seniors sort of category, I'm in.
How funny, Nick, that Mark just snuck in there that birdie performance.
I think Nick did it there.
Well, I let him into it a little bit.
I think Nick brought it, but that's okay.
I'm surprised you haven't made one since, though. So.
Anyway, look, if you are in the lookout for a new set of irons, make sure you go and find out the demo day that'll be at your local golf club. The guys who can fit at Titleist are absolute superstars. I can attest to that. But the new T-Series irons from Titleist, check them out.
Wow, pretty. That's sweet. Don't know what you did, but it looks nice.
Oh my goodness.
Are you hitting that new 4-iron, Jordan? Thing looks so good, doesn't it?
These new irons, the premise for them is really simple. You want the ball up in the air a little more, you want the ball coming down a little steeper.
With this launch in particular, we're talking about getting players' height, getting them launch angle.
That's what it feels like to hit it high.
I don't see a lot of people walking around going, I'm really good at hitting 3 irons. Everybody can use a little help.
But that was 13 feet higher.
That's really good.
Talk Birdie to Me with Nick O'Hearn and Mark Allen comes live from Titleist and FootJoy headquarters. Titleist is the clear number one ball in golf. FootJoy, the number one shoe and glove in golf. Ping, they'll help you play your best. Watch my numbers, play smarter and use your data. Better, the fastest and easiest betting app in Australia. And the Golf Clearance Outlet, who beat everyone's prices. Wherever you listen or watch, we'd love you to subscribe and maybe leave a review. Talk Birdie to Me's executive producer is Dan Bradley at Kaizen Media, with sound design by Daryl Misson at loudzebra.com. And now from Titleist and FootJoy headquarters, that's been Talk Birdie to Me.